Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I have come with another video where we will be analyzing another technical exam, and this time it is for assistant programmer exam which was held in India. And I have got this paper from one of the candidates and we'll be analyzing around 120 technical MCQ question together. So in this bit I will just go through each question, analyze and also explain the key concepts and share with you the possible answer to each questions. And just for a note that the choice of the options that we make for each question may differ in some of the questions from the official answer key. So just keep in mind that. All right, so we don't. Let's get started. Before that, this video I would like to mention that this video will be quite long because 120 questions, that's a lot of questions. So walking through each questions, explaining each question will definitely take a long time, so stay tuned and you can continue watching till the end. All right, so let's get started. So let's look into the first questions we have. Okay, I'd like to mention that this in this exam, in this technical question paper, there are four sections: section A, B, C, D, and section D contains only technical related, computer science related questions. So I'm interested on only in analyzing computer technical related questions, which is under this section D. So we'll begin from this section D, question number 51. All right, so we have this question 51. So let's go through the question. Like in a relational database, what is a primary key? So what is a primary key? A primary key in a database management system or in a database is that key that will uniquely identify all the records in a table. Let's say we have a table here, and there will be certain key in that table that is called primary key that will identify, because they are unique. They will be able to identify its record in a table uniquely. So option A over here is the correct answer. Option B is wrong because it is not used to link table, and option option B, this is another used to link to tables. This is another concept that is called foreign key. We have that for which does use the primary key for building relations between tables. But here they are asking what is the primary key. Definitely answer will be option A. Option C is not correct. A primary key can never be null. It always have to be unique and non-null. Key store primary data. No. Next question. Option B. Okay. In the first question, option A is correct. Next question is of the following statements, which of the following statements about normalization is correct? So this is a concept in database management system where we divide a bigger or larger table into, we basically break down it into smaller tables, and this process is called normalization, right? And why do we do that? That is to remove redundant data in a database. So option A is correct here. Option A is correct. See, normalization is not needed. It is actually needed to optimize our relation of tables. Normalization improve performance queries. This is not appropriate because when we do normalization, it does break into larger tables, and when we query the data, we need to do joins multiple tables and gives the final output to the user. So joining does actually take some time, computing time. So it does, in some cases it actually degrades the performance of SQL queries. So this is not appropriate answer. So normalization is used to add redundancy. No, this is just the counter of on option for option A. This is just the opposite of what we meant in option A. Option A is correct here. So which of the following is a type of relationship? A type of relationship in relational model. Yeah, one to one, one to many, many to one. Yeah, these are all valid relations. So option D is correct here. All of the above. So what is a foreign key? A foreign key, which I have explained in the first question. A foreign key is nothing but let's say we have this one table, another table. Here we have one attribute column, you know, let's and we call this as let's say ID of something else. This ID, the values here will actually refer to another table's primary key, and this attribute is called FK. That means foreign key, because the foreign key contains the primary ID of another table, this which helps to build the relationship between these two tables. And this is what foreign key is all about. The key that links to another table. Option B is correct here, right? So option A is not correct. Option C is not correct. Multiple values, no. Option prevent null values, no. Option B is the only correct because it creates a link between two tables, right? So what does ACID? Once again, this is an important concept. In the context of database, in database, ACID is a set of principles that ensures that our database atomic, consistent, isolation, and durability, and also durability. So option B is actually the correct option here. Option B. Next question: which of the following is not a type of SQL command? So there are mainly 3 to 4 SQL commands. What are they? DDL, DML, and TCL. All right, I think this is all what we have. DDL, DML, TCL, and also we can see that the query language in some of the database query language is supported. So the DDL, DML, both of these are valid, and the QL is also valid, but they're asking for what is not a valid SQL. DEL, that extraction language. I think there is no language in, so option D is correct here. Option D, because they have asked for not a valid SQL command. Option D is correct. That extraction query language. So extraction, we already know extraction. It is already covered in DML language. It has the select query in DML. So there's no such extra data extraction language. 57. Which of the following is the correct HTML tag for inserting a line break? So here, if you have studied or worked with HTML tag, we can insert a line break using this BR HTML tag BR. So this will basically break the current line into the next line after anything that appears after BR. So next question: which of the following is okay? Some of you might be confused with HR. HR is for drawing a horizontal line in HTML. This is not, really not a functionality for line break. So option D is not correct here. Which tag is used to define an internal style sheet? So internal style sheet, what does it mean? Is that in an HTML file we can insert it's styling. And how do we write that styling? It is wrapped with this style tag. So this is a valid tag too, and valid tag in which we can write our CSS related code for styling our websites or web page. So here we can write all our CSS related, syntax codes. So next question, which of the following is a syntax to referring to external script? External script means external JavaScript. And so for answering this question, you need to have, basic understanding of HTML, JavaScript, how they work together while, building our web pages. So in that case, option A is the correct for this question, because script is the tag that we use for, for referring to external JavaScript file, and we use this src, an attribute, right? And we mention a file name here. This is a file name. You can mention any file name, whatever. And this is not a valid syntax, not a valid syntax, so they will get just eliminated. Option A is the correct answer. So next question, which of the following is a valid CSS selector for p tag? So p is one of the p is the HTML tag, and how do we style this p tag? Right. First, we need to select that. In order to style the p tag, we need to select, and the selection of this tag for CSS in the CSS code, we use this syntax. This is the valid syntax, not p. No, this is for not a. I think this is for ID. Yes, this is not a valid. This is not a valid syntax. So option A is the only correct here. What is the purpose of the div tag? So div tag is, in HTML is very common. We use multiple times while writing HTML code, right? So it is used to actually create a section, define a sections, right? Define a section in HTML. Option A is correct. Option B is wrong. It is not used to create, insert an image, not to create hyperlinks, even not to create the list. Option A is the only correct answer here. Which of the following is not an empty, uh, which is to apply style? So we know that, in order to apply style, we use CSS, not PHP, not HTML. PHP is a server-side programming language, and JavaScript is a scripting language for client and both backend. In which JavaScript we actually manipulate the DOM, make API calls, and write code to change the behavior of our web pages. HTML is just for structuring the web. HTML is for structuring web page, you know, DOM elements. CSS is for styling. Just remember that. And next question: which of the following is true about URL? URL is, which stands for Uniform Resource Locator. This is a very direct question, so we don't have to discuss anything else. Okay, what does HTTP stand for? Once again, this is something like the direct. It's it's an acronym for hypertext transfer, hypertext transfer, hypertext high transfer. No, hypertext 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 transfer protocol. Yes, this is the only correct option. Which of the following is an example of client-side scripting? Like I mentioned just a few minutes seconds back, JavaScript is used to write a code in the front end or client side, which will help and manipulate our web pages and change its behavior based on user interactions. Option B is correct here. What is the purpose of the form tag in HTML? So it is used to collect user input. Yes, this is the correct option. Use insert, no. Select, creating selection, not creating. So form that you like, I think you have already seen. There are forms on the web page where we can insert our name, username, email, password. All of these things is made possible using the form tag. So which of the following is the best definition for cybersecurity? So cybersecurity is protecting devices from unauthorized. Yes, this is possible answer, but protecting data and network from malicious attacks. See, cybersecurity, it protects not only the data but also the networks right? Data and networks, network which includes the devices. So option B will be more appropriate answer compared to option A. They're not protecting from power failure. No, this is nothing to do with power failure. Managing network traffic, no. So option B will be correct answer here, not option A. Why? Because option B is more, you know, appropriate and more, closer to the question, and closer and a more correct definition of cybersecurity. So option B is correct here. What is the primary function of firewall in computer network? The primary function of computer network, we know that to prevent data primary firewall, right? The primary purpose is actually blocks the incoming and outgoing traffics, and to protect data encryption. No, this is not to increase the data speed. No, to create a secure password. No, only option B, that is to block unauthorized access and network traffics, right? So for example, Windows firewall we have, and other, there are multiple firewalls applications, not just a window, not just a window that firewall that you see on your desktop. Option B is correct here. Which of the following is a common type of cyber attack that uses multiple compromised devices to overwhelm the target? So the question means that what kind of attacks, cyber attack, where multiple devices are used to actually flood or exhaust the network bandwidth. And this type of cyber attack is called the denial of service, and a type of denial of service is called distributed denial of service. This is the correct most the correct answer will be denial of distributed denial of service, the DOS in short. It is not phishing, not SQL injection, not ransomware. Option B is correct here. What does phishing refer in the context of cybersecurity? So once again, another question from cybersecurity. What is phishing? Yeah, phishing is a technique used by hackers or the bad guys to deceive you, right, or to fool you, you know, to share your personal credentials or any tokens or anything personal related, data. So phishing is really a very common, and they use, and this, for phishing they use mainly the emails, right? Emails, fake emails with fake email IDs will be sent as if they are being sent from the legitimate, genuine, right, source. So be careful, right? When you click on the links or open up any email and download any suspicious uh, files from the email attachments, so just be careful. So phishing means that option B, a technique to use to deceive people from revealing their personal information. Option B is correct here. All right. So next question: which of the following is a method of encryption that protects unauthorized access? What is that? It is called password hashing. Yes, we protect users' password by hashing, scrambling the user and their password into something buried that is unreadable, or unreadable even by humans and the computer programs, ununderstandable. So symmetric, yes. Decryption is not. This is just the opposite of encryption. Option B and C. Option D is correct answer here. Option D. What is the main advantage of blockchain technology? Faster transactions and speed, centralized. Decentralized immutable ledger. Option C is correct here. So blockchain technology, this is a pretty new technology, and where they maintains multiple distributed ledgers, like immutable ledgers. It is not centralized, right? It is not centralized. It is always distributed. Which of the following is the key feature of AI or artificial intelligence? Right, we know that in artificial intelligence mimics the human intelligence, so option A will definitely be the correct answer. Automations of human intelligence, requiring human intelligence, yes. Predicting future with absolute certainty, no. AI is not certain, always not 100% guaranteed to be given the 100 accurate predictions, right? Enhancing hardware, no. Storing and managing layers, no. So option A is correct answer here. Which of the following technology? Okay, which of the following technology is used to create immersive digital environment? Okay, this is a little confusing. Okay, it can be option B or option A. Immersive digital environment. Okay, environment. Immersive. They use the word immersive. Okay, augmentation. In virtual reality, what we do is in virtual reality, we build a complete virtual world and users can directly interact within that whole sphere of virtual world. And in augmented reality, we try to blend and merge our the physical world with the digital, objects, and user will be able to see the real world, physical world, and also the digital at the same time. So I think immersive, it it will actually mean augmented reality. For so option A will most likely be the correct option here, 74. Okay. So which technology is used autonomous for avoiding obstacles? So there's a sensor called light this technology, LIDR, light detection ranging is used for an autonomous vehicles like a Tesla, like the Tesla car. There is self-driving cars or any other like branded self-driving autonomous cars. They use this light light ADR, to detect their obstacles, and it may not be. And why this artificial AI is not answered, although AI is used in autonomous car, but the primary, the most crucial thing, attack that is required for autonomous vehicle is LIDR, light detection ranging. This is very much the most important thing that autonomous vehicle must have. Then only, the LIDR will take the data from the environment, and then only we can use AI. So option B is correct here, not option C. What does 5G technology, provide here? Okay, predecessor. So we can already assume that, what does 5G do? 5G will definitely be, providing higher speed, lower latency, and better user experience. So option A will definitely be the right answer for this question. Okay, so it is not less data encryption, reduced coverage area. It actually covered more area. Option 5G actually covers more area. Look, slower data, no. This is just the opposite. 5G provides higher, data transfer rate. Which of the following is not an example of relation? Okay, sorry, which is an example of relation? So relation means, there's a relation between one entity to another entity, right? From one entity, item one to item two, there's a kind of relations. So they're asking a set of relations. So there will be multiple relations. So there will create a set of relations. So you can see, is it an integer? No, because these are all 1, 2, 3, 4. These are all single entities or single elements. Real number? No. Even number? No. Ordered pair is ordered pairs. So pair, what does it mean? Pair, for example, 2, 6. So there will be some kind of relations, some kind of relation between 2 and 6, 3 and 4, right? Ordered pairs between any pairs. Let's say A and B will be pairs, so there will be some kind of relation. So all, a set of relations, multiple, pairs will form a set of relation, and option C is correct answer here. Which of the following is the first principle? Okay, principle of inclusion exclusion. Okay, inclusion exclusions, it is called a union, not intersection, not difference, not symmetric, not complement. It is actually union. So union, what we do is, so union, like, let's assume that we have block of elements, and if there is any incoming elements, We check if that can be included within this union or not. So inclusion exclusion is being tested here. So option A, that is to find the size of the union of two sets, will most likely be the correct answer for this question. Okay, next, which of the following is not a valid graph? So this is a direct question. Option, D is not a valid graph. For in discrete mathematics, 3 is a valid graph. Sorry, yeah, 3 is valid graph. Complete, yes. D is a directed acyclic graph, yes. So continuous is the only option here that is not a type of, not a valid graph, that can be represented in discrete mathematics. So option D is correct here. What is the probability of ruling an even number of a fair six die? Okay, six sides that die. So they're asking for probability, and in a six-sided die, we know that in a six-sided die we have one throw six faces, and each face will contain the number 1 through 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they are asked to pick the even numbers. So how many even numbers between 1 to 6? 2, 4, 6. So that is 3. All right. So 3 by the number of faces 6 equals, you can just do 1 by 2. 1 by 2 will be the answer for this question. This is direct question. So option B is correct. Next, which okay, two events A and B are independent here. Independent means there is no relation. There is nothing common between A and B. Right? There is no common. There is nothing common. There is nothing common between A and B. They're totally different thing. And if you do the intersection A, B, in that case, this one will be the cross product A and B. For this, even A and B will be correct. So option B is correct here. The mean data set is actually the average of all. So this is once again a question from the statistics, right? Or I think, yeah, statistics. Average of all the values. This is what mean does. It tries to find the mean average of all values. The variance of data sets. Once again, the variance of data sets. The variance is the average of the square difference of the mean. Option C is correct here. So if you have read about this variance and its definition and or its characteristics, they will match with this option C. Option C is correct here. But which of the following measures the central tendency is affected by most extreme values? Okay, so is it a mean, mode, median, range that will get affected the most by extreme values? So affecting by most value will definitely affect the mean. I think it is, yeah, it will mean the mean. Option A will be correct answer. When we calculate mean, we include all the values and we try to find the average, right? We try to find the average. Now if we change the most value of the extreme elements in the given range of number, it will actually affect a lot or the most for the mean value. Option A is correct for this question. Which of the following is not a type of probability distribution? So if you have read about probability, so this is a very direct question. So it is not Poisson. Actually, Poisson is a type of probability distribution. Exponentially, yes. This is also yes. But they have Oxford not. So option D. Linear distribution. It is not a type of probability distribution. So option D is correct answer here. So coefficient of variance, right? What is the coefficient of variance? Coefficient of variance. Let's say, what is the coefficient of variance? We'll have to check it. Is it 2A? Is it B? What could be the possible answer? So I think for this question, I think option B. I'm a little confused at the moment. Relational database. So we'll have to check this later. Okay, I'll just. What is the coefficient variance is calculated, right? Coefficient variance of coefficient variance. Standard deviation by mean. Okay, standard deviation. Yeah, this option B will be correct here. Standard deviation by mean into 100. So option B is correct for this. So this is a direct formula. If you know the formula, you will definitely be able to answer direct within a second. So option B is the correct answer for 86. Which logic gate has the output 1 only when both are the same? So they are asking for 1 only when both are input are same. So for example, if the inputs, let's say A and B are the inputs, and both of these are 1, it is always 1 each. So this is the property of XNOR, just the not operation of the XOR, right? In XOR, what happens is that when both the input, in XOR, when both the inputs are different, the output is 1. So when, for example, 0 1 equals to 1, 1 0 equals to 1, and now XNOR is just the opposite. That means when both the inputs are same, 1 and 1, it will give 1. When both inputs are same, it will give 1, right? Okay, no. Wait, both the inputs are 1. Okay, they're asking for, okay, not both inputs are same. Okay, sorry. So they're asking for both the inputs are same. Output is only one input is same. Got it. So we in XOR we know that when both the inputs are different, when both the input are different, it is always 1. But in XNOR, that is the not operation of XOR. It is just the opposite of this. That is, if all the inputs are the same, that is 1, it will give 1. And when 0 or 0, 0 and 0, it will give 1. For 1 0, it will give 0, and for 0 1, it will give 0. So XNOR is the correct answer here. Option D. What is the Boolean expression of AND operation? AND operations we know that very well. If like A dot B, it is not A, it is not A plus B, not A dash or complement. No, this is not. So AND operation, option B is the correct answer, not option A. It is actually option B. So option A is actually an OR operation. Remember that, OR operation. Which of the following is an universal gate? There are mainly two, NAND and NOR are the universal gate. That means it can be, these two gates can be used to build other gates like the AND. AND can be used for building JOR, or NOR, or AND. So these two are universal gate, and in the options we can see NOR gate is present. So option C is correct here. What are the two types of, okay, what is the output of OR gate? Is 1. If the OR, right, in the OR gate, if any one of the input A, B, if any one of the input is 1, the output will always be 1. At least one of the input is 1. Yes, this will give 1. At least one of the input is 1, it will give 1. It can have, one input can be 1 and another input can be 0, but still it will give us the output equals to 1. So next question, the sum of the output of a full adder. So full adder, now in a full adder we use the carry input. So option D is correct. Half adder we don't have this carry, but in full adder we does have this. So we do have this carry in input. Okay, which register in 806 8085 microprocessor holds the address of the memory address? Okay, address register definitely. Address, uh, yeah, address register. Address of the memory location for data transfer. Yes, this is the correct. Program counter actually have the address of next instruction to be executed. But here they have asked for data transfer, so option C is correct, not option D. An accumulator is for holding the data of intermediate, you know, data values that CPU is executing, and instruction register for holding instructions. So next question, which of the following is true about 8085 microprocessor? So this is then, a question. All right. If you have read about 8085 microprocessor and its characteristics and properties, we need to check, is it a 16-bit? No, this is actually 8-bit microprocessor. 5 register, it has more than 5 register, but its flag, I think its flags are 5 flags, right, in 8085. But here they mention register, they have 8085 have more than 5. It support 8, so it support direct address busing. This is not, and option D is the correct here. 8085 have 8-bit data bus, 8-bit data bus, remember that, and 16-bit address, I think address bus. But here we can see, this is the correct 8-bit data bus. Option D is correct here. Which of the following is used to transfer data in 8085 microprocessor data? Move. This is used to move data, to move the data, not add, not sub. Which of the following is an addressing mode in each? The addressing mode is actually immediate addressing mode that is used in 8085. So yeah, we can see that it is not direct. So that is why option C is wrong. They actually use immediate addressing mode. This is a different addressing mode. Okay. What is the size of a program counter in 8085? Size is definitely 8-bit. Option A is correct. Which of the following microprocessor is 8-bit? 8085. Same question asked in different ways. So 8085, option C is correct. In 8085 microprocessor, which register is used to store the result of arithmetic operations. Results of arithmetic operations is stored in accumulator. So for example, there is some arithmetic operations that is being done, and to hold the intermediate data, accumulator 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 is nothing but a register that is used to hold intermediate data. Option C is correct here, not a data register, not program counter. Program counter to hold, now it holds the address of the next instruction to be executed. Stack pointers actually points, it is a pointed data and points to the top of this stack, right? So what is the next question? What is the size of the address bus in 8085? So I have explained this previously. 8085 has 16-bit data, address bus, 16 address. However, the data bus is 8-bit. Remember that. Option B is correct. Next question. Which of the following is a key feature of 8086? Okay. In 8086, it is actually 16-bit based database. In 8085, it is 8-bit, but in 8086, it is 16-bit data bus. Option B is correct here. What is the function of stack pointer? In 8085, stack pointers, it is a pointer to hold the top section. So we have this stack in a memory, and program counter will point to the top section of that stack pointer. Option B is correct. Option B is correct here. Top to the section of stack memory. Okay. Next question? Which of the following is null and component of CPU? ALU, it is a component. It is a component of the CPU. Control unit, yes. Memory unit, yes. Hard drive is not. It is not a component of CPU. Therefore, option D is correct. Option, correct answer for this question. Next, what does the bus in the computer, organizers refers to bus It is a physical pathway for data transfer between. All right, this is the correct option. So part is nothing but a physical pathway, or you can just take an analogy of the wires connected to different component of CPU through which the data passes between the components of our computer. So bus is what bus. This is what the bus do. You know, it will just transfer the data between different components. So option B is correct here. Which of the following is responsible for fetching instructions from memory in the program? So what is that fetching? Is it a memory? Not a register. Register is for storing. uh, Memory unit. No, in memory unit actually contains the instructions and the data. And ALU is for arithmetic logical unit, logical operations. Here, control unit is the correct answer because it coordinates, right? It tells other, it tells it tells when to bring in the next instructions, and this will definitely be responsible for coordinating also, right? So it knows, right, when and how to bring that instructions from our main memory. So option A is correct. Next, the memory hierarchy. Which of the one has the highest speed? So let me show you the memory hierarchy. CPU, sorry, registers, case, and RAM, HDD. HDD means hard disk drive. So from top to bottom, the top will have the highest. So in a given option, you can say case memory. And if we go from top to bottom in this hierarchy, the memory speed actually decreases, or if you go from bottom to up, the memory access time increases. So the top will have the highest, and in the hierarchy is the hard disk drive. Secondary memory will have the lowest in access time. So we can see cache memory, RAM. Cache memory is faster than RAM, yes. So option, and this is slowest in the hierarchy. Magnetic tape is more slower than SDD. Okay, so option A is correct here, definitely, because it has higher or highest access time among this given option. Okay. Which of the following is the main function of arithmetic at ALU, arithmetic for logical operations? Option B is definitely correct answer. So this is directly straightforward, simple question. Which of the following is not a function of operating system? Not a function. That's task scheduling is actually yes a function of operating system. File management also, memory management yes. Data encryption no. This is not a functionality of operating system. Option C is correct. So which of the following is the primary purpose of operating system? The primary purpose of operating system is to manage hardware resources. From execute application, no. They're asked for primary. What is the main? Although execute applications, you can execute applications, but this is not the primary purpose of operating system. The primary purpose is to manage hardware resources, you know, manage like managing files, processes, right? So option A is correct here. Which of the following is an example of time sharing operating system? Time sharing. Unix is definitely the answer here. Windows is not time sharing. MS-DOS is a very basic single user OS. Mac OS is also a single OS, single user, and Unix is an operating system that is based on time sharing. So next, which of the following is responsible for allocating resources and also controlling the execution of process in operating system? So process scheduler, yes. Process scheduler is responsible for scheduling resources, is it? And control execution of processes, yes. Process scheduler is the executions processes. Option A is correct here. Next, what does the acronym FIFO? FIFO stands for first in, first out. Right, first in, first out. First in, this is a very straightforward. Option A is correct. First in, first out. The way they come in that order, they will get executed. The way in the order they come, right? In any order, in the order they come, they'll get access to any resource in that same order which they happen. This is what first in, first out is all about. Okay. Next, which of the following is a process synchronization technique in OS? What is it? Synchronization technique, interrupt, no, this is not pacing, no, multi-threading, no, semaphore, yes, semaphore is a variable that is used in operating system to actually uh, control the critical section execution, which is which is a concept, in synchronization, where semaphore variable, it is a variable to use, you know that multiple process execute critical sections in a synchronized manner. Option A is the correct answer here. That is semaphore. Next, which of the following is not a type of operating system? Not a type of operating system. User, okay, operating system process. User process, yes, because the process can be run in user mode, kernel, and system process, yes. Background tasks, computer can run. Application process is not here, and also it is not a not a type operating system. They have asked for operating system process. So the OS process application is not an OS process here. What is a deadlock in operating system? So in previous question, option D is correct answer. Option D is correct answer because they have asked for not up an OS process. So option D, that is application process, is not an operating system process. Next, which of the following is a deadlock in OS? Okay, what is a deadlock? Okay, they have asked the definitions. So deadlock occurs in operating system when the multiple resources holding some resource and also request at the same time other resource, but that resource is also being busy and occupied by some other resource. So in this kind of situations where multiple process request for the resource but are not able to proceed any further and are you can just and are hanged indefinitely in that state, they can neither move forward or neither move backward. So that situation is called deadlock. And you can see in option B, process just waiting for a source forever. Option B is definitely correct answer for this question. Next, which of the following is a method used to prevent deadlock in operating system? And now, once deadlock is occurred, like what are the different ways to prevent it? Okay, resource allocation group, yes. Lock mechanism, yes. Detection algorithm, yes. So all of the trees are actually valid or invalid, and these are the ways how we can avoid it. So option D, that is all of the above, is the correct answer. Which of the following is an example of real-time operating system? Real-time, we know, QNX is a real-time. Unix is not real-time. Linux is not. Windows is not. QNX is a type or one of the types of real-time operating system. Option C is correct answer. Which of the following is not the definition of algorithm? So algorithm, what is the definition? Okay, which of the following is the correct? There are four correct definition. A set of instruction, a set of random type of data structure. No, it is not a type of data structure. It is actually a sequence of steps. A sequence of steps to solve a particular problem. A sequence of random steps. No, it is not a random. It is already. Now you cannot just go and execute random steps and complete a task. That is not what algorithm is. A set of steps that is defined and tested to solve a particular task. So option A is correct here. It is not a program. Option D is wrong. Option A is correct. Next, which of the following is not a characteristics of good? There is not a characteristic of good. So fit finiteness, yes, it must be, and the algorithm must be finite. It must be precise. It must be accurate. Efficiency, yes, it must have a good optimized time complexity. But ambiguity, no, this is not valid. This is not a characteristic. So option C is correct. The option C is correct answer for this because they have asked for not a characteristics of a good algorithm. Next, which of the following complexity is determined by, okay, what is the time complexity of algorithm is determined by? C, the number of inputs, the number of operations. It is not always number of inputs. It is not always, in some cases, it is number of inputs, definitely correct, but it is not always the number of inputs that determines. Actually, the more accurate is the number of operations executed. So we check the time complexity based on the number of operations. Option B is correct here. Option D is not correct, it's not correct. Option B is correct. It is not option A. Okay. Which of the following is now is an example of divide and conquer? We know that quicksort is divide and conquer best algorithm and a sorting algorithm which divides array into two hops and like and sort and do quicksort operations that smaller sub arrays. Okay, divide and conquer is quicksort. Option B is correct here. Which of the following is an next asymptotic notation for worst case time complexity of Mercer? So Mercer algorithm, best case and worst case, they have the same time complexity n log n, O log n log n. This is the time complexity for Mercer in worst case. Option B is correct. Next, okay, which of the following is a searching algorithm that has the best time complexity in the worst case of unsorted array? Let's say we have an unsorted array, 5, 7, 3, 1, 2, anything that is unsorted, and they're asking for the best time complexity in the worst case. Among the worst case here, among the worst case for all of this option, and what is the particular, you know, algorithm that is still the best among all the worst? So binary search worst is n log, sorry, binary search log n, jump search, linear search, when exponential, will have an exponential time complexity. So I can say binary search is always like, because it is, even if it is in the worst case, binary search will always have log n, and this is a better, an an optimal searching algorithm. So binary search option A is correct for this question. Next, what is the time complexity of Mercer algorithm? We know that, okay, Mercer space, okay, they have asked for space. So Mercer uses O of n, O of n time, space complexity. It uses this much of space while computing or the merge sort algorithm. So this much space is required. Pick O of n. Option B is correct. Next, what is the time complexity of best case scenario of quicksort? Best case. What is the best case? Like best case, right? In the best case, it will be O of n only, right? Let's say if array is already sorted, okay. Mm, if it is already sorted, actually, if it is if already sorted ascending or descending order, quicksort actually performs the best in this kind of situation. Actually, it performs more worse. Actually, gets more, no, quicksort actually get worse if the array is already sorted. But they have asked here for best case. So in that case, basically n log n is the time complexity. So next, which of the following is a greedy algorithm? Greedy, right? Greedy. So Prime's algorithm, which is used to find MST, minimum spanning tree, right? This algorithm works on based on the greedy algorithm. Greedy, looks for the optimal or the best solution based on the current local data available only. It does not care about the overall global, you know, optimal solutions. So it always try to calculate on the optimal, assuming that the current available local data is the best. So option D is correct answer here. What does the big O rotation describe? The upper bound of algorithm. Yes, option C is correct here. Which of the following is not a linear data structure? Linear data structures. Array, linked list, tree, stack is not a linear data structure. Array is a linear data structures, and linked list, although it isn't based on nodes, but still it is linear. You can access them linearly. And stack, yes, it is also linear. Tree is not a linear at all. This is not a linear data structures. Okay. 3. So option D is correct answer because they have asked for not a linear data structure. Option D is correct. Next, in a double linked list, which of the following is each node contains data appointed to each node and appointed to previous node. Only data. So in a double linked list, we have a node. It will have a data pointer, a data internal member variable, and also a pointer to the next and another pointer to the previous node. So we have three. There is the minimum pointers. So data pointer to the next, pointer to the option C is correct here. Which of the following is an operation not possible in stack? So stack operations, post pop is the primary operations post and pop, and pick is to what does pick do? Actually look for the top element. For the top element in a stack, it does not pop, it does not pose, it actually just only read the top element from the stack. So this is what pick does. And they have asked for not possible in stack. Delete from the middle is not possible because in a stack data structure allows only the deletion from the top using the pop operation. So as D is, delay operation is not from the middle is not possible. Therefore, the answer to this question is option D. So, which of the following data structure is used in implementation of recursion? Definitely, stack data structure is used recursion. So, next, which of the following? So, option B is correct in previous. Option B is correct here. Next, what is the time complexity of accessing an element in an array using index? So we have this array, zero base index, and we want to find any random elements from the, let's say, from the two index. So how do we do that? Array index, and this is how we read the value or the element from the array. So the time complexity is just O of one constant time, O of one. We don't have to go through any other elements, just directly we can access it using the index. So O of 1 is the correct option A. Next, in a binary tree, the number of edges is always one less than the number of nodes. This is a property of tree. Or you can think of this critically, like let's say we have a tree, a binary tree. Okay, binary tree means only two child is the maximum. You can have 0, 1, or 2 child. So in there is no loop at all, and you can see one in this tree, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 nodes, and how many edges? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is always one less than the number of nodes. So option A is correct here. Next, What is the time complexity of searching an element in a binary search tree? So binary search tree, if you have read about binary search tree, we know the time complexity of binary search tree is in the worst case. What if the tree is something like this? It contains only the right child. What if if the tree? So this is I'm talking about a worst case. Generally tree is used to be like this, right? But in the worst case, tree can have only right child, and that kind of tree is called skew tree. Skew tree, as skew tree, in which the tree has only one type of child, right? Right child, right child, right child, right child. In that case, if you want to search an element, you'll have to go from here till the last, if the element is present in the last node. So you're actually traversing n nodes. So the time complexity is here n, and it is not log O of n. And average time complexity is log n, but in the worst case, as you have to travel from the one node to through all the nodes in a skewed binary tree, you'll have this option C is correct for this question. What is the which of the following is true about a circular? Which of the following is a circular cube? What is it? Circular cube. We have this cube, right? Circular cube means it is connected both the front and a back are attached. It is a linear data structure for studying. It is not a linear data structure. It is a based on linked list, no, and it is it does not allow a queue to be full. It actually becomes full. It's the last option is connected to first. This is the most accurate and the closest option to this question through a bug. Hey, link queue can be implemented using array or linked list or any other data structure. But the most closeness to the property of circular linked list is option D. Option A is a linear. It is not a linear because it can be implemented using array, right? It can be using array, linked list, and the front and the back and the front are adjacent. That is why it is not linear. And what about linked list? Linked list, it can be best. Queue can be implemented using array also. It does not always have to be using linked list. It does not allow for a queue to be full. Okay, queue becomes full at some point, right? When you keep on filling, inserting elements into the queue, at certain points the queue becomes full. So option C is wrong, option B is wrong, A is wrong. A is wrong. So option D, the last option, is connected to first. Yes, this is the only correct option. So next, what is the space-time complexity? Space-time complexity for array of size n. So just think, let's say we have an array of n elements. So definitely, how much space is taken? Simple, big O of n. Option B is correct here. Option B is correct. Okay, which of the following is not a type of binary tree? Not a type of binary tree. So complete is a type of binary tree. What happens in complete tree? All the nodes has to be completely filled in all the labels, and in the last level, if it is not filled, if the nodes is not filled, completely filled, it must be filled from the left subtree, from the left side onwards, right? So this is what complete balance binary tree. We know that their height between left and right subtree does not exceed 1. All right, full binary tree, that means either 0 or 2 children. But a type is also a type of binary tree. But we can circular binary tree. There is no such circular binary tree. Therefore, you know, from the question, circular tree, circular binary tree, option D is not a type. Therefore, correct answer is option D. So which of the following is not a feature of operating system? OOP, object-oriented programming. Some of the properties are inheritance, encapsulation, polymorphism. But compilation, it is not a principle or property of OOP. So option D is correct. So option D is correct answer here for this question because they have asked for not a property or feature of OOP. Option D is correct. In C++, which operator is used to access the member of the class? Actually, it is used this kind of operator. This is called member resolution operator in C++, right? So double colon. So option C is correct. So option D is not correct. It is actually used for pointers member access. An operation is for assigning the address. Dot is for accessing the pointer, accessing the members variable or member function. Next, which of the following is not a which of the following is true about constructor? C. A constructor does not return. It does not return value. Must return value. It actually C++ in C++ we do not return any value in constructor. So constructor are automatically created when object is created. Yes, this is created. A constructor must take parameters. No, it is not always true. You can pass, parameter to constructor, but it is not mandatory that you must pass parameter option. Therefore, option C is wrong. Constructor can have any name. No, you cannot have. The constructor in C++ should, the name of the constructor should be exactly the same as that of class name. So option B is the only correct option here. Constructor are called automatic are called, yeah, because they are invoked. When you create an object, it automatically creates. In Java, okay, in Java, which of the following is the correct way to create object? So in Java programming language, option A is the correct. This is the correct syntax. Option B, this is not the other options is not correct syntax for creating an object. Option A is the correct answer. Which keyword is used to inherit class in Java? Inherit means inheritance. We in Java we use this extend keyword, right? Extend keyword to extend the behavior member variables from the parent to the child. So class A, let's say class B, extend A. So this is how we inherit the properties from class A. Extend keyword is used, not implements. Implement is used for interfaces when we try to implement interfaces. Inherits, no, this is not a valid syntax, no. So extend is keyword. Option A is correct. What is the purpose of the super keyword? So in Java, okay. So when we create an inheritance from class A to B, but and how do you access? How do you access the properties of class A from class B? Using the super keyword. Right, we use the super keyword to refer to superclass parent class. Option B is correct answer. Which of the following is the method that cannot be overridden in Java? So in Java, static inherit instance method abstract. They have asked for that cannot be overridden. Static can be overridden. Abstract methods, instance method, yes. But option D, that is final. When you declare a method with a final keyword, that means it has become non in non-modifiable, unmodifiable. So option D is correct because once you declare a method with the final keyword, you cannot modify or overwrite in the child classes. So option D is correct. Which of the following is the correct syntax for declaring a constructor in C? How do we declare? Option D is correct syntax for declaring. So it can be okay. It is confusing. We are declaring. Option B could be possible answer. So I'm a little confused. So I'll just give option D for now for this question. Next, which of the following is not access modifier in Java? So in there are access modifiers like private, public, protected, but they have asked for not accessible. There is no such, there is no such access modifier accessible in Java. So option D is correct answer because they have asked for not a valid access modifier in Java programming language. So in C++, what does the delete operator means? Delete is the keyword to delete that is free or deallocate the memory that is being dynamically created or allocated at the runtime. So option B, this is totally the correct because we try to query dynamically allocated memory using this delete keyword. Which of the following is a phase in operate in SDLC? Designing is a phase, testing is a phase, coding is a phase. All of this, also option D is correct here. In SDLC, it's a feedback. A model is a feedback where the customer incorporate with development process. So waterfall model, no, we don't have that because in waterfall model, what happens that we need like in waterfall model, all the phases must be completed first. Then only will get a feedback. There is no way to send a feedback to the previous phase. That is not supported in a waterfall model. B model for its this is an extension of the waterfall model, right? In which all the phases are being tested after the completion. Iterative mode, where in iterative actually we do and improvement into the software and multiple iterations. Yeah, spiral is the correct answer. Why? Because customer feedback. So at its after its phase, there is an analysis of risk. Also, the customer feedbacks were taken into consideration, were considered, and further phases are considered. Option C is correct here. Okay, which of the following is not a characteristics of software? So software, what is not a characteristics? Software is not prone to wear. It is not a prone to limited scalability. Yeah, it have limited scalability. True. Cannot modify. Cannot modify. Okay, is it a modify? Yes, it is easy to modify. It's intangible. Yes, it is intangible. Not a physical thing. So it's not prone to wear and tear. What is tangible? Is software tangible in software? Let's see tangible. What's going to be possible answer for this question? Right. So I think option is not a pro. Option C is correct here because this is not a property. There is anything related to software. Option C is correct for 49. 149. Next 150 question. Which of the following is not a fundamental? Okay, it's a fundamental of Agile methodology. Agile is a type of SDLC, software development lifecycle. In which customer collaboration for each in each phase there's a customer collaborations and over contract negotiation. Option B is correct here. Following a fixed plan, no, there is no such fixed plan here. In Agile, we don't have that. It is Agile means flexible. Remember that Agile means flexible. Working software is not drive until no. In its in its after completion of each phases iteration, software improved version is being released to the customers. So option D is wrong. Detailed documentation prioritized. There is no such fixed clear details that nothing it is valid in Agile methodology. Option B is the only correct here. So in context of software engineering, what does the modularity mean? Modularity means that breaking down the software, yes, of software into smaller. We have a larger code, and we break this down into smaller, maintainable code, and also more efficient code. And this is what modularity refers to combining all modules to one unit. This is just the opposite. Instead, modularity, we actually break the larger big modules into smaller modules. So option B is for managing components. We break it down into smaller. Option B is correct here. Next, what is the main purpose of software testing? Why do we test software? To check software works. Yes, to enhance performance. It is not to enhance performance at all. That is actually, software testing is actually done to test if the applications is running as expected, right? Whether it is behaving as as expected and working in the right or the right manner without any bugs. Option A is definitely the correct option for this question. It is to check the software work as per the requirement or not. So improve user interface, no. Document all functionality, this is no. Option A is correct here. Next, which of the following is a major disadvantage of waterfall model? See, in waterfall model, there is no such feedback. Once the phase starts, it needs to complete all the phases. Then only we'll come back to the first phase and start, you know, taking all the required feedbacks and start next iteration. So another disadvantage is that we cannot go back to any stage once it is completed. And also it does not allow any changes during time of development. Disadvantage is this, it does not go back to any stage once it is completed. Option C is correct because they have asked for disadvantage here. Which software process model use an iterative approach with incremental builds? Incremental builds, waterfall model is not incremental. That means incremental here means that we are building software from bit by bit, bits by bits, making improvements after each iteration. And that is possible in agile methodology or agile model, in which we build software, make improvements after each iteration. So the correct answer is option D, the agile model. Next, which of the following is true about financial requirement or functional requirements? So once again, another question from software engineering. Why do we need functional requirement, by the way? It is used to specify what the system do, describe the functional of the system, specify how systems should be built, focus on performance criteria. Functional requirement basically is about describing what are the things that the software you know must do. So must do, it refers to the features, how the user should this. It is not about how fast this application should run. No, it is not about it. But functional requirement means what are the functionalities, what will the software do, right? Will it, okay, will it allow user to log in? Will it display the data? So all of these things is described under functional requirements. Option A is correct answer. So in software engineering, what does coupling means? Coupling means, right, the dependence, right, the dependent of one module to another module. So we have module 1, module 2, and how much are they being dependent on each other? So it definitely describes the degree to which the software component is dependent on another. Option A is correct. The integration of various software, no, this is not correct. This is connection between hardware components, no, this is nothing related to coupling. The division of software into smaller units, this is actually called uh, what we do, like division of software into smaller units is called decoupling. This concept is called decoupling, where we break the larger module into smaller. But here they have asked what does coupling means. In that case, option A is correct. Which of the following is the most common type of solve in a computer network? Okay, once again, most common type of computer network, LAN. LAN will definitely be the most common, most common, because LAN can be seen at home, at offices, at workplaces, right? LAN is definitely the most common here. Option B. So which of the following is used to connect two or more network and forward a package? So forwarding package is done by router. Option A is correct here. It is not hub. Right, two or more networks. They have forwarding the packets between two networks. So and one network, two network. So how do we do that? So using the routers. Although switch also forward packets, hub also forward packets, but switch and hub actually work within the same network, within the same network. But here they have asked for two or more networks, forwarding packets between the networks, and that is done with using routers. In a WASM model, which of the following is an error detection and correction? So error detections and correction. Error detection and correction is performed in the data link layer. In data link layer, option C is correct here. Transport layer is responsible for transporting between two node-to-node reliable connections, and network layer is for routing the packets, right, and addressing the IP addressing. Physical layer is for transmitting the data bits using signals through the physical mediums or wireless medium. So option C is data link layer. It checks error and also detect errors and also make corrections. Option C is correct answer. So which protocol is used for sending emails? For sending emails, we use SMTP, simple mail transfer protocol. STTP is for transferring hypertext media documents over the internet. FTP for file transfer. POP3 is for fetching the emails, not for sending. Remember that, not for it just fetch the emails from server to our clients. SMTP is for sending emails. Option C is correct. Which of the following is a function of switch? Say switch, what does it do is it forward the packets, incoming packets to the right host in a network. It forwards the data packets based on the MAC address. Yes. So if networks, let's say this is a switch and IP, and the data packets come in, it will forward it to the right host based on the MAC address, the physical MAC address. All right. So it amplifies signal. No, it is not about amplification. Connects different type of network. No, router actually um, connects and forward packet between networks, and different type of networks is like the gateway we have that, and IP translates. No, IP translation to MAC is not not done by switch. It is actually done. It's actually performed by IP to MAC address is performed by I think it's ARP, right? Address resolution protocol. Address resolution protocol. Address resolution. So option C is correct here. ARP. Next, which of the following is the main difference between a hub and a switch? So both of the hub and the switch, they are almost the same. They are almost the same. Therefore, what's the packet to the host in a network? But the difference is that hub sends all devices. It actually broadcasts. If there is a network packet coming in, and the hub will directly send the data packet to all the network connected to that hub. Sorry, to all the host that is connected to that hub. So it simply broadcasts everything. It sends the data packet to everyone in the network. But the switch is little smart. It just sends the data packet only to the right recipient, to the right destination with the help of MAC address. So option B, you can see that a hub sends to all devices, whereas the switch sends only to a specific device. So option B is correct here. Next, what is the maximum data rate transfer of gigabytes? So you have to see the chart or the value. The maximum it is 1 gigabits per second. Option B is correct here. And option 1 gigabits per second is equal to 1000 megabits per second. But here you can see only 100, so this is not correct. It has to be 1000. 1 gigabits is correct answer here. Which of the following is the following IP is the loopback address? So loopback address option A is correct. It starts with 127.0.0.1. In a loopback address, what it does is that it mainly used for testing, the IP addresses. Or in a loopback address, it actually routes the data packets, you to the same device or same source. Right? When you send the data packet to this IP, it will just come back to the same IP. You can just Therefore, that is why it is called loopback. Option A is correct. Next, which type of network technology has the all device connected to central? So what kind of topology? So we know that star topology, all the host or the node are connected to the central device. So therefore, star topology is the correct. The ring topology is totally different. It is not a central, and bus topology it is a different thing, where the nodes are connected a backbone cable, and mesh topology when its nodes are connected to each other, right? So star is the only topology with a central device at the center. So option C is correct. Next, what does the IP address stand for? IP, Internet Protocol Address. This is a very simple, basic, straightforward question. IP address means Internet Protocol Address. Option A. Which of the following is the main function of DBMS? What is it? The main function of DBMS, data manipulations, data storage, all of these are the functions that DBMS performs. So all of the options, option D is correct here. What is the main purpose of SQL Select? What does SQL Select do? SQL Select, it retrieves the data from a table. Option B. Option B is correct answer. It is used to modify. No, for modify we use update command, right? Delete, we do this delete. We have the delete statement. Insert, for use for inserting values in the table. We use insert. Right? So to retrieve, we actually use select. So option B is correct. Which of the following is the type of database model? Relational model, hierarchy model, object-oriented model. Option D is correct here. All of this are a type of database model. Okay, which of the following is a form of SQL, structured query language? Okay, this is very simple. Once again, structured query language. So finally, we have to come to the end, and we have done 120 questions. So that's a lot of questions, and it's quite a long video as well. So anyway, thank you for watching till the end, and kindly share, like, and subscribe. If and consider subscribing, definitely will help me and motivate me to share and come up with some more videos. So, and also if you have any doubts in any of the questions, come on, consider subscribing. Sorry, comment below, and I will definitely try to answer your queries. And please come on, like and share. You can do that. Thank you once again for everyone watching till the end, and okay, bye. See you in the next video.